mortal adventurer the Dread Lady seeks. I assumed you'd be, well, taller. Still, my mistress knows best. I bring you a message from Lyranth, the lovely and powerful Dremora. Hear the words her prophet speaks, and be enthralled. The Dread Lady requires a mortal's perspective. She finds the situation merely curious, but says it has apocalyptic consequences for our plane of existence. Congratulations, mortal. She has chosen you, and she promises compensation if you survive. Calm, I suppose. But I have faith in Lyranth, and she seems to have faith in you. I'll mark the destination on your map. Plus, I secured transportation. The regal, sweet daffodil. Oh, and take this pendant. You'll need it when you get there. Sweet daffodil will whisk you directly to the location. Once there, you must get past the creatures that roam the place to find Lyranth's hidden lair. The pendant will alert you when the time comes to use it. Then, just follow the trail of energy. Isn't it obvious? The pendant contains an Epiphany blood ruby. It tingles when it senses residual portal magic. Use it, and it will lead you to Lyranth's lair. How ironic. She chose you to assist her. Not her prophet, but you. A heathen adventurer. Please, I am nothing like my insipid older brother. Nothing at all. I am the Dread Lady's true prophet, her voice resounding in the mortal realm, her herald on the plain of Nirn. My dim-witted brother claims to be many things. The Dread Lady and I allow him his delusions. Makes it easier to get him to accomplish the few tasks that aren't beyond his limited skill set. You should feel honored that this time my mistress sent me. Speaking the words of some higher power is the standard definition of a prophet. And there is no higher power than my mistress, no matter what the other temples or shrines may tell you. I do whatever the Dread Lady asks, and am honored to do so. Yes, I am aware of your relationship with my mistress. It may not be as intimate as mine, but she does seem to have a certain fondness for you. Still, we must not use her name so casually. Enemies abound, and mortals become skittish so easily. Oh, not in any romantic or mortal interpretation of the word. Not even in the way a child is fond of a puppy or kitten. Dremora aren't like us. You must have realized that by now. But my mistress finds you interesting. Yes, that's the word. A group of Dagonists, known as the Order of the Waking Flame, has been interfering in my mistress's activities of late. They are of no real concern to her, but I don't want to attract their attention. I suggest you take similar precautions.
blade. Remove the blade. Damn enchanted blade. I'll need to figure out how they were able to use it to trap me. But first, we need to talk. Ah, little mortal. Your timing is impeccable as always. Of course, if you had arrived just a few moments earlier, I might not have wound up with that damn blade stuck in my chest. Must I say it? That the Dremora you know and admire had a lapse in judgment? That she failed to take her surroundings into account when she opened her portal? Very well, little mortal. I erred, and the Waking Flame took advantage of the opportunity. The Order of the Waking Flame, to be precise. Fanatics devoted to Mehrunes Dagon, the Daedric Prince of Destruction. 2 of the cultists followed before the portal closed and surprised me. Incapacitated me with that enchanted blade. Quite the opposite. The blade carries a unique enchantment I've never encountered before. It paralyzed me. Gave them the time they needed to portal in others and ransack the place. Quickly, check my coffer. Make sure the velvet pouch is still safe. It's what the velvet pouch contains that matters. I'm still attempting to ascertain its purpose, but since the Dagonists want it, it must be important. My coffer rests on the nearby pedestal. Check on it while I examine this accursed blade. Why do mortals insist on receiving every detail, no matter how insignificant or profound, before they accomplish the task at hand? Apocalyptic. Just what you might imagine where the Daedric Prince of Destruction is concerned. As a matter of fact, it does. The velvet pouch contains the relic I acquired for services rendered. Now go. Make sure the relic remains safe in its pouch. The Dagonists also sought it, so that's reason enough to want to keep it out of their hands. It's gone, isn't it? Search the rest of my lair. Find the cultist I wounded before the blade brought me low. Delivered a killing blow. Surprised he made it this far before collapsing. Search the body and retrieve my stolen item. Show me what you found, mortal. Well, little mortal? Did you recover the item that maggot stole from my coffer? Was it in one of his pockets, as I suspected? Let me see that. This letter names the maggot I killed. Devastator Rulin. And it mentions Greenshade. I wonder what they're doing in that miserable place. Indeed. My relic. When I learned that the cult wanted it, I decided to acquire it before they could. I covered my tracks, but apparently not well enough. There isn't much to tell. I have yet to determine the relic's purpose or function. I was just preparing to study it when the cult invaded my lair. No matter. The letter tells us where to find the Dagonists. I'll open a portal. I shall never get used to Nirn's smell. Come, mortal. We have plans to discuss. So much greenery and animal life. How do you mortals stand it? Never mind. Rhetorical question. Let us go deal with the Daganists and retrieve the relic they took from my lair. The note you discovered contains the answer. Where umbrage creeps. It can only refer to one place in this region. Shadows Crawl. I have no doubt we'll find the Daganists near there. The Daganists use portal magic. I can smell its residue on the air. The pendant that Rogatina gave you. It can be used to follow traces of portal magic in the area. Right here. Simply use the pendant and follow the trail of the residual magic. Then use it again once the trail turns cold. We must retrieve the relic they stole from me. I shall pursue my own investigation and meet you once we locate the cultists.
How did she overcome the blade?
Never mind that. Get in, and I'll close the portal.
I don't think so. A simple spell will keep the portal open. Mortal, this way. A cave? I expected the cult to have better taste. Let's look around. I expected Dagon's bootlickers to have grander accommodations than a simple cave. Look around and find my relic, mortal. I assume this cave serves as a base for the Waking Flame. Not very impressive, truth be told. Come. Let us find whatever hole those cultists used to store their valuables. I want the relic back in my possession before the next clan fear cause. Search the area. Leave no stone unturned. We must retrieve the relic they stole. I hear voices up ahead. It must be the cultists. Daganists. No better than Daydrats hiding in the bowels of these caves.
Sharp and close. More. Coming here was a mistake, Lyra.
Search the camp and find my relic, little mortal. Curious drawings. Definitely mechanical. But what was that about transforming Daedra? Intriguing. So this Sister Seldina wants my relic. And she provided directions on how to use it. Interesting. Well done, mortal. You found my relic. Give it to me. A letter that conveniently lays out the cult's plans, schematics for some strange device, and my relic. Not bad for a day's labor. These items tell me much about what the Daganists are up to. That this Sister Seldina had the audacity to order the cultists to steal my relic. And she gave them the damn blade that incapacitated me. She calls the relic a portal key. Claims it leads to some sort of base in Oblivion. Yes, from which they plan to unleash disasters upon your world. I suspect it has something to do with these schematics. A diagram for some sort of device they call the Cataclysm. It has some purpose regarding Daedric transformation. Intriguing. So I was told. The battle mages and I have exchanged information. Details concerning the Cataclysm and its function were severely limited, however. Suffice it to say, I suspect the device plays into their plan to unleash disasters upon your realm. My minion had better have completed the preparations I assigned her. Come.
Mistress, the adventurer approaches.
We got lucky, little mortal. The letter we found indicated that Sister Seldina wanted the portal key brought to her after the cultists recovered it. For whatever reason, that didn't happen. Perhaps they were waiting for Devastator Rulin to return. Yes, and whose corpse now rests before us. He will serve my purpose as well, I think. Time enough for that later. For now, take this. I understand that your kind expects such treats after performing clever tricks for your betters. Questions about the Order of the Waking Flame still linger, little mortal, and the danger posed to your plane of existence hasn't abated. We can still help each other if you are willing. Before we make use of the portal key, we must complete our own preparations. Then we can find the cult's base in Oblivion and determine their plans for the Cataclysm. You must acquire the root of a fluster fume plant and a tincture of befuddlement. The relic opens a portal to Oblivion, most likely the Deadlands. Regardless, we can't just stroll in and expect them to reveal their plans. I'll use those items to create a potion to fool them. It will make you appear to be the corpse lying here. Fluster fume plants grow nearby, southeast in the caves of Camp Gushnikbar. As for the tincture of befuddlement, I believe Orion the Alchemist may have one at the outpost south of Bramble Beach. Return here when you have acquired both. No, it will make you look like the dead cultist when he was still among the living. That's the intent, anyway. I am not much of an alchemist, but I believe I can make this work. Mortal flesh is much more malleable than you would imagine.
The tincture is ready, but are you sure you want to deal with that woman?
That woman is very powerful, and I've enjoyed my discussions with her. What did she call herself? A prophet? So, what brings you to our little outpost, traveler? If you're looking for something specific, I must warn you that my alchemical stocks are severely limited at this point in time. Ah, you must be another one of the Dread Lady's followers. I've had a number of pleasant conversations with her prophet, Rogatina, and I even got to meet the Dread Lady once. She mentioned she might have need of such a tincture, so I brewed one up. No disrespect intended, but I was hoping she'd come to pick it up herself. I so looked forward to basking in her glorious presence again. Ah well, perhaps next time. Here you go, and don't bother about the cost. It's a gift for the Dread Lady.
unwitting tool. Return to my realm and serve me. Like all worldly things, you will in time wear and be used up.
Have a friend who's not afraid to fight. Good.
Just in time, little mortal. Place the root and the tincture in the cauldron. The root you found was a perfect specimen, and the tincture just the right shade of distraction. The potion should work perfectly now. Of course. Wheels within wheels and all that. After you drink the potion and disguise yourself as a waking flame cultist, I will pretend to be your prisoner. Not only are you returning with a portal key, you're bringing them a gift. Me. Devastator Rulin, the worm who led the craven attack on my lair. He had the good fortune of dying by my hand before his associate incapacitated me with that damn blade. You will pretend to be the cultist, and I shall pretend to be your prisoner. Sister Saldina's letter explained how to align the segments of the portal key. I shall set it accordingly and open a doorway to whatever realm the cult is using as a base. You drink from the cauldron and step through. Then our charade begins. The disguise is perfect. Now, I shall activate the portal key. Then, step through and assume your role. I shall do the same. Definitely not Nern. Let's look around. This is Fargrave. Interesting. We must find the Daganists and determine what they're doing here. This obscure corner of Oblivion is known only as Fargrave. I certainly didn't expect the portal key to lead us here. I wouldn't have expected you to. The inhabitants prefer their privacy. It's a realm without a prince, which gives them a modicum of freedom. And it's a crossroads of sorts. A way station between Nern and the rest of Oblivion. Once you find your way to Fargrave, the paths through Oblivion become easier to navigate. Daedra and mortals alike can be found here, engaging in trade on a planar level. I begin to grasp why the Waking Flame have set up operations here. With no prince, the accords that make it harder for other realms to connect to Nern do not apply. Once they learn the way, with relics such as the portal key, the Waking Flame can move through Fargrave with impunity to reach Nern and the Deadlands. Not for any reason that won't give you nightmares, little mortal. Now, let's find the cultists so you can present your prisoner. Then we shall learn what we can about the cult's plans and the true purpose of the Cataclysm.
Devastator Rulin? Is that you? We fear the Dremora killed you, and who's that beside you? Is that Lyrinth the Dremora? I'm impressed, Devastator. I didn't imagine your mission would yield such notable results. Indeed. And the Fargrave Cataclysm could use a new Daedric entity. For the next test, of course. I'll let you present her to Sister Saldina personally. Right through that door. I'm sure Sister Saldina will want to hear all about your mission. And we've yet to attempt to use the Cataclysm on a Daedra of Lyrinth's caliber. I expect the results will be quite informative.
So, the mortal returns from its mission, and it brings a prisoner. How unexpected. And I assumed Lyranth was more capable. I would never allow myself to be captured by one such as you. Still, Nokvraz may want to question her before the next test. Does Sister Seldina not teach her Devastators anything of import? Volkina's Nokvraz is a favorite of Lord Dagon, sent here to ensure Seldina doesn't mangle the Cataclysm project. Such endeavors are too vital to leave completely in mortal hands. You're a mortal, but do you have to be so naive? Sister Seldina has her place, and she will keep it for as long as she proves worthy. When she no longer serves a meaningful purpose, Nokvraz will take action. Until then, step carefully, Devastator.
After the failure at the Dread Cellar, your Fargrave Cataclysm must perform as promised, Seldina.
The device will work as intended, Nokvraz. Ah, here comes the Devastator now. Devastator Rulin, I assume the blade did its job? Of course it did. How else could you capture Lyranth the Dremora? She has been a thorn in our side for much too long. Well done. But what about the portal key? Were you able to recover it? A remarkable achievement, Devastator. And fortunate as well. We're about to perform another test with the Fargrave Cataclysm, and Nokvraz is hesitant to provide me with any more of his precious Daedra. Lyranth should do very nicely. I hope that's not skepticism or sarcasm I hear in your voice, Devastator. I get enough of that from Nokvraz. Despite the setback at the Dread Cellar, I have every faith in the device. Soon we will unleash an army of living disasters upon Nirn. Did your Doombringer tell you nothing? The Cataclysm enhances Daedra, transforms them into incarnates of disasters. First, we take control of this pitiful demiplane. Then, we launch our assault using Fargrave's connections to Nirn. Worthy? It is brilliant. Sentries, take the Dremora and place her in the Cataclysm. Devastator, enter the Cataclysm chamber when you're ready. Then the demonstration will begin. Devastator Ruling. For your excellent service to the Order, I award you with the privilege of activating the Fargrave Cataclysm. Touch the rune and witness the transformative power of the Cataclysm. Lord Dagon's blessing will turn Lyranth into disaster incarnate.
Do what you must, flee. Lyranth is ready. Be free.
The Dremora damaged the Cataclysm. Duke of Fire, destroy them!
Shut it down! We must preserve the Cataclysm.
Deal with the Havocrel, mortal. I'll open a portal back to Nirn.
Laughable mortals! You have no power here! You will be destroyed for your audacity! Surprisingly competent. Another thing, you and your lord.
Now, little mortal, breathe! The energy emanating from the Cataclysm is interfering with my magic. We must find a place where I can open a portal. This is far enough. I will open a portal out of this place. Quickly, into the portal before more cultists arrive.
Mistress, you're injured.
Nonsense. Merely a scratch. You did well, little mortal. Sister Saldina and her cultists never suspected a thing, and we returned richer than when we departed. That was never going to happen. My bonds were illusory, and it was a simple enough task to free myself once you activated the Cataclysm. I observed long enough to grasp the workings of the machine. Then I made my escape. We learned that Sister Saldina's faction of the cult has a base in Fargrave, and they plan to conquer that obscure plane of oblivion to use as some sort of staging ground for their nefarious machinations. The power surging through the device carries the tinge of Mehrunes Dagon. It seems it is designed to imbue a Daedra with the energy of a single disaster and transform it into an incarnate. They plan to unleash these horrors on Nirn. We know that a portion of Mehrunes Dagon's energy was used to create the ambitions. I could sense that same power surging through the Cataclysm. I suspect the same magic and rituals were used in both, but applied differently. Quite ingenious. The power surging through the device perhaps. Noctvraz seemed to think so. I bought us time to consider, to plan. Sister Saldina can make more such devices, however. Eventually. But did you see? Noctvraz despises Saldina. Perhaps we can use that. And you don't have to. Just know that the cult plans to unleash destruction on your world. Now, I must contemplate. The device. It can change Daedra. I must return to Fargrave. I will summon you when I learn more. Until then, you have my thanks. So many avenues to ponder. Sister Sildina and the Waking Flame, the Cataclysts, Valkanaz, Nakfraz, and Mehrunes Dagon's role in all this. I shall return to Fargrave and see what else I can learn. I'll call upon you when I need you, little mortal. No, never met him before, but I've heard of him. One of Dagon's fiercest generals, a soldier in his ongoing quest to satisfy his insatiable hunger for destruction. It appears he was ordered to work with Sister Saldina, and I don't think he likes it. Because that is where Sister Saldina is. The cult has ambitious plans for the Demiplane. We delayed those plans, but we didn't stop them. I will find out what I can and then send for you. Assuming you still want to save your world, that is.